Hello, dear friends. I have been asked to talk about my country, and the time has come to do so with affection. Opinion piece. Awakening of Iberia. Spain derailed. Iberian prophecies. Geopolitical events. Changes from 2026. Sagittarius idealism. A centuries-old conflict. Incompetence of politicians. Spain is undergoing a great trauma. 3 eclipses are expected on the 2026, 27 and 28. Let's start. The Iberian Peninsula is a geographical unit if we look at it on the world map, but it is possibly the most divided peninsula in the world for political reasons. It has been trying to destroy itself for centuries and has not yet succeeded. If one speaks badly of Spain, it's because it is Spanish. But we are probably right, because we have the most inept politicians in the world. Never before has the political system been so discredited, and it is right now. We have great defects, but also great virtues, and proof of this is the record of number of tourists who visit us every year. Spain is either loved or hated, but there is no middle ground because it is a country with very fiery extremes. Here there have been great heroes and great villains, but also a lot of mediocrity. This is reflected in Spanish history, art, literature, and music. Prophecies. A legend says that the world began in Toledo after the universal flood, and there are also prophecies that the end of the world will begin in Spain, understood as a change of social paradigm towards a new era. It is said that Toledo was founded by a descendant of Noah after the universal flood. Some versions attribute its foundation to Tubal, Noah's grandson. There is a talk of a time of change for Spain that would begin in 2026, coinciding with a series of 3 eclipses. Significant transformations are mentioned, especially in regions such as Madrid and the Mediterranean coast. Spain will witness 3 solar eclipses in the years 2026, 27 and 28, marking a historic period for astronomical observation in the country. Nostradamus speaks of Spain in 20 prophecies, with Barcelona being the most mentioned city, as it appears in 8 different quatrains. The other cities mentioned are Madrid, Zaragoza, León, Tarragona, Córdoba, Granada, and Seville. Mentions of these cities are usually related to conflicts or significant changes. Some prophecies suggest an increase in tensions in North Africa that could affect Spain. An increase in Russian influence in North Africa is suggested, which could increase tensions with Algeria. Some interpretations mention a possible reconquest by Arabs in the Iberian Peninsula. Prophecies and visions about the unification of the Iberian Peninsula include the figure of a last universal emperor called the Great Monarch, who would unify the peninsula and extend his dominion. There is a talk of a divine mission for the Iberian rulers, the linking of unification with military victories, and the expectation that the Iberian Union would lead to a position of greater world power. There are modern movements that advocate greater integration between Spain and Portugal. Some groups propose a confederation of states or a union of common interests rather than a complete merger. It is argued that a unified Iberia could have greater weight into the European Union and potentially enter the G8. Idealism. The Spanish Empire dominated the world and spread Christian values. in an idealistic way, because Sagittarius is an adventurous and idealistic sign. Our northern neighbors have not forgiven us for that, and the wicked have been conspiring against Spain for centuries and creating an inferiority complex through the black legend invented by them, while they dominate the world and turn us into a self-conscious colony. It seems that they have achieved their objective because never in history have we had such a sheepish and conformist population, until someone started singing and we were hit by the cold drop that has been the trigger for our awakening. We have not woken up with the gentle caress of a mother, but with a bucket of cold water from a brutal stepfather. Plot. First, they try to divide us through extremist political movements. Second, with the irregular invasion of African cultures to destroy our cultural identity. Third, with the colorful agenda to destroy our agriculture in the name of a misunderstood environmentalism. Fourth, with the press campaigns in the north against tourism and with paid demonstrations in Spain. But it has backfired because this year we have had more tourists than ever. Since they have not managed to destroy agriculture or tourism, the only resource left was floods, which coincided with the sighting of ships with strange antennas. But don't be so suspicious, that is pure coincidence. Water has always been very purely distributed on the Iberian Peninsula, because drafts alternated with great floods, and that is why so many dams were built to store water in periods of drought and to stop flooding. But they had to be destroyed because Franco built them, as if politics had something to do with the loss of hydraulic physics. The color agenda ordered the destruction of dams, reservoirs and swamps in the name of an ecological idealism that contradicts the common sense of a flood-prone country, and the puppet government gladly complied with the order, believing it was doing something good. It is always easier to destroy than to build, because what had been built caused the sacrifice of many generations. In the Júcar hydrographic basin, which includes Valencia, 28 hydraulic structures were demolished between 2006 and 2021. Parasites. Here you do not come to power by professional merits, but by political merits. If there is anything in abundance here, it is politicians and cronies who do not produce real goods, because we have the largest workforce of parasites in Europe, with large salaries paid from our taxes, and the largest fleet of official vehicles in the world. Spain has 5 times more politicians than Germany per 1,000 inhabitants. In Germany, there is 1 politician for every 800 citizens, and here there is 1 politician for every 115 inhabitants. In other words, Spain is the European country with the most politicians in relation to its population. This significant difference in the number of politicians per inhabitant has implications in terms of public spending and administrative efficiency between both countries. To support so many parasites, we pay exaggerated taxes and have poor quality public services, which are also poorly managed due to so much incompetent bureaucracy. As Thomas Jefferson said, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. The government you elect is the government you deserve. Let us hope that we choose better next time, although it seems that the results are not decided by the one who votes, but by the rigged computer program that counts the votes. Karma. According to Poetok, each nation has a destiny and provides an environment for all the little destinies that play out in that place. People are born in specific countries for specific reasons that have to do with the workings of karma. Every country on earth has a karma, and certain countries share a common karma with other countries, and this has been defined by wars and trade over centuries of interaction. Some countries, like Russia, have never been easy to defeat or occupy by a foreign government, except by the Mongols for a short period of time. The problem is that the world generates an atmosphere, a dream state that holds your mind and emotions captive. In times of material darkness, its force can be so great that you lose all sense of self and objective consciousness. You act without realizing what you are acting. If you had no contractual obligations here, you would not be visible to others within the sensory bandwidth. Do not confuse contractual obligations with a relative level of purity. Here you can perceive the avatars and also the saints, because they have contractual obligations, and all of them fall under the umbrella of the purpose of the demonstration. Reconstruction. We are entering into a new reconstruction of the earth according to the Delosians through Marie-José and Dichot. At this moment, Spain is experiencing a great trauma that moves every human being wherever they are. You can see how your hearts open to mutual help, to the moral and the material support that comes from your own country, but also from other neighboring countries. The pain of all these human beings, the human losses of loved ones who are living, touch your heart. This catastrophe has produced a trigger in consciousness, so that you understand that life is only unity. Unity of human souls, unity of hearts, unity of love, and unity of support. When times like these come, we understand that it is important to be united and stay together in the face of adversity to soften dramatic events. When the difficult times have passed in the coming months, feelings of love, respect, and joy will be in the hearts of those affected, but also in the hearts of the volunteers who participated in this cleanup and in the moral comfort of the people who needed it. But if this catastrophe has happened, it is because of the manipulation of the earth's soil. A river was diverted from its course a few years ago. This shows that the earth has a life and a body just like you. Rivers are its veins, as your body is crossed by many vessels. It is important not to modify the course of your veins, and the same goes for the earth. What the earth do not do is to change the course of your veins. What you humans do for your well-being is not necessarily what the earth wants, and that is why it is recovering despite what you do it. The earth is purifying and transforming itself as it has done since its birth. Weather are changing, its mountains are transforming, and the coasts are being reshaped. However, it is important to stop digging it, to make tunnels in the mountains to allow you to go faster from one point to another. It is important to stop drilling it to capture in its subsoil what is part of its life, oil and others. These elements are its body, and if you disturb it in such a strong way, you hurt its drink and it rebels. During the last times of the life of the earth, humanity has gone through ice ages, periods of warming, creation of continents, disappearance of islands, etc. You are entering into a new reconstruction of the earth. This takes time, but it is becoming more and more evident. That is why we ask you to respect your planet, because it is your life. These changes are the movements of your body or your energies, but there is also, unfortunately, the human action to certain governments that want to have absolute control over the weather, in order to generate destruction here and remodeling there. It is important that you realize that everything you experience allows you to react to understand that the earth is a living being, which has accepted you on its soil with love, but also wanted you to respect it. However, for a large number of you, the earth is an object, destined only to bring you a false well-being after the lack of respect towards it. Be aware that the months and the year to come may be increasingly disturbed if your consciousness is not opened to the love of your planet. Love it, offer it the light of your heart, and reassure it because it suffers deeply. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.